Good morning on this Thursday. One more day till Friday. We're happy to have you joining us here for Morning Pulse. I'm Kelsey Marier, your host and producer of this weekday daily digital broadcast, bringing you top local headlines in a quick format to get you on your way, but also keep you informed with what's happening in the communities around where you live and in the state or surrounding states that you live in. Happy to have you here. Again, we air this every weekday morning at 8:30 on our KETTC live stream, as well as live on our KETTC YouTube channel. I'm also streaming live on my Facebook page. If you're tuning in any of those places, welcome to Morning Pulse. Okay, I'm going to bring you four headlines today, some in Iowa, some in Minnesota, and then one kind of sports related news. Obviously, we are in the middle of some playoff games and things for professional sports. So let's get right to it. We're going to start actually in the state of Iowa with kind of an update to a story we have been following. We are now learning that Governor Kim Reynolds says the USDA has officially given approval for the state of Iowa to start its own summer meals program. Of course, this is for low-income families and their children. Again, this is a story we have been following for a little while now. So this new program for summer meals is called Healthy Kids Iowa. It's going to replace the USDA's summer EBT program. If you don't know, Governor Reynolds actually chose to opt out of that specific program for the past 2 years, which is now what's fueling this new summer meals program. So she says the new program is going to provide healthier foods at a lower cost to children all across the Hawkeye State. How it works, low-income families will be receiving $40 worth of food per child every month. Again, $40 worth of food per child per month under this new program. That will be available to kids who kind of receive that free and reduced lunch option during the school year. Again, this is in Iowa. The program is going to be running from June through August, so summer months here. In a statement, a little bit of pushback here. Not everyone agrees with this new with this new program and what the governor is choosing to go ahead with. That statement coming from the Iowa Hunger Coalition, it says it's concerned that the new program could actually create some barriers for families trying to access it, and food pantries are already experiencing what the coalition says are record-breaking levels of need. So again, the new summer meals program has been approved by the USDA. This is something the governor wanted in Iowa. However, not everyone is on the same page or agrees with the way that this new program is going to work. So we're just providing both sides of how people are feeling about it, as well as what the governor says this is going to do for those Iowa families. All right, our next story that we're touching on this morning is something that's happening today. We're talking about a 3-panel judge of the Minnesota Court of Appeals coming to Rochester. They're going to be hearing some oral arguments on several different cases. This happens pretty often, or it's every year. We've reported this same type of event or hearings, you could say, over the last couple of years. So again, the Minnesota Court of Appeals coming to hear oral arguments in the Med City today. These hearings really are just a part of the court's mission to kind of travel all across the state to ensure access to justice. So that is kind of the goal behind hearing these arguments from the state in our community today. So the arguments for the cases are starting in just under an hour at 9:30 this morning. They're happening over at the Government Center. And if this is something that is interesting to you or that you have interest in, it is open to the public to attend. So if you are available around 9:30 to go and hear some oral arguments from the Minnesota Court of Appeals, you can head over to the Government Center in Rochester today. Okay, the next story we're bringing you is an exciting update, I guess you could say, for the Rochester Civic Theater. That entity now has a new managing director. Name is Jacqueline Johnson. Been selected for this role, of course. Johnson has nearly 2 decades of leadership experience with some other nonprofit theaters, most recently at the Commonweal Theater down in Lanesboro, where they served as the director of production. So that's an exciting update for the Rochester Civic Theater. Johnson says of the new role, quote, "I believe deeply in the power of the arts to create positive change. By engaging with local organizations, expanding educational programming, and uplifting community voices, we can create an even stronger, more inclusive cultural hub in Rochester," end quote. If you would like to read a little bit more about Jacqueline Johnson and this new role, or the new role that they are holding, you can go over to our website, kettc.com. All right, our fourth and final story today. We're once again talking sports. We are talking NBA playoffs and the Timberwolves. So the Minnesota Timberwolves, if you're following, back in action later tonight. Unfortunately, game one didn't end the way we wanted, but it was a 99-88 game, one loss for Minnesota against the Golden State Warriors. There were several mistakes that were made across that game. If you watched, you know, but maybe most notably was the 5-29 three-point shooting performance. That was not necessarily the best performance in three-pointers that the Timberwolves have had. So now the Wolves are going to be looking to hopefully tie the series at one game apiece for the series that is for the series that is continuing tonight. We have that game tonight before the series moves to the San Francisco Bay Area, because of course we play the first two games in Minneapolis and the next two will be in the Bay Area where the Warriors play. Now, something that we did learn about and talk about kind of was Steph Curry. We have learned that he now is actually the team is now actually going to be without him for at least a week. He was injured in the last game. That happened with about 8 minutes and 19 seconds left in the second quarter of game one. He never ended up returning to that game, although the Warriors still went on to win. He did end up having an MRI and has been diagnosed with a grade 1 left hamstring strain. Of course, we don't like to see any injuries by anyone in any type of sports game. So this is concerning for sure for Steph Curry, but also for the Warriors, excuse me. So as it stands right now, Curry is expected to be kind of sidelined through game 4. That's happening on Monday. Then he needs to be reevaluated by that time, and then we'll see what happens, if he'll be able to return for the remainder of this series. And who knows what that could mean for Golden State. So this is actually Curry's first muscle strain in his whole career, and he has been in this league for a minute. He has definitely been playing for a while. He's one of the league's best. So anyway, game 2, the tip-off at the Target Center tonight is set for 7:30 if you'd like to watch. Again, go Wolves, of course. We are rooting for the Timberwolves to continue in this series and hopefully advance through this series. All right, that is all that I have for you on this Thursday edition of Morning Pulse. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and join me right back here for Friday. We are heading into Mother's Day weekend, and the weather is going to be amazing. Today a little bit cooler, but still above average, meteorologist Ted Schmidt has been saying, and Mother's Day weekend is almost going to be reflecting weather that we would see at Father's Day weekend, which is halfway through June. So it's definitely going to be nice and warm. We're going to be seeing 80s for the weekend and into next week. So if you are a fan of the warmer temperatures, just you wait a couple more days and we'll have that. If you're a fan of the cooler summer temperatures, today will be your day. All right, well, I will let Ted do the rest of the talk about the weather because that is his area of expertise, not mine. However, I do like to enjoy the benefits of the nice weather that he reports. So, okay, well, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. I'll see you later.